Martin, the Chief Tester and Instructor for MPK Custom Calls. Today we're going to look at how to strip, clean and reassemble your MPK Custom Call. Okay, so stripping and cleaning your MPK Custom Call. It's not rocket science. If you use a semi-automatic shotgun, you'll know the importance of keeping quality equipment nice and clean so that it works when you need it. When you're actually taking the call into its component parts of the barrel and the insert at this point, always use a rotating motion to separate the two parts rather than simply wrenching one out from inside t'other, which then leaves you with the insert, which contains two reeds and a wedge. And the simplest way to disassemble the call at this stage is simply to take the two reeds and very carefully, making sure that you don't bend them, slide them out, and you'll find that the insert, the wedge, will come out as you've just seen. At that point you'd immerse them in warm soapy water, making sure that you give them a good rub on both sides to get rid of any dried spittle that's stuck to the, in particular the outside edge where the reeds overlap, and this can significantly affect the sound of the call. It can actually gum the reeds together under some circumstances, and it's something that you really do need to avoid. When you're reassembling the reeds, always remember to take the longer of the two reeds, the bottom reed, and just compress it very gently between your thumb and forefinger, and you'll see that it has a point at which it flexes naturally. In this case it's forming like a U shape, and that means that because it's the tip of the reed that the air that we put into the call is going to move first, it's going to now sit with that U on this part of the tone board, so that when we put the second reed, this is the reed with the dimple on it, and it always goes dimple side down. Put the two reeds together similarly, making sure that they're nice and square at the end, and then if you slide them into the base of the slot like that, this is one of those jobs where it helps sometimes if you've got three hands, but what I'm trying to do is just to make sure that they're sitting squarely in the bottom, and I'm just going to hold them in place with my thumb, as you can see there. Then if you take the wedge, and if you just stick it in your mouth just enough to slightly moisten it, and at that point, if you get the wedge nice and square, slide it back into the slot, and you'll see that that's perfectly symmetrical. If the reeds themselves are to the left or to the right, or too far, if the back of the reed isn't fitting right into the base of the groove there, you'll have all sorts of problems with the sound that you're producing. You can use a tool like that just to make sure that the wedge is firmly home, and at that point I think we've assembled that correctly. When you replace the insert into the barrel of the call, again gently slide it in and twist at the same time to the point that you need it, and I think you'll find at that point that it's back together properly and working perfectly. So we're just going to take a look in this series of clips at some of the ancillary stuff, some of the stuff that most of the big call manufacturers won't have told you. Here's a little tip that if, like me, you're an inveterate dribbler, if you salivate something chronic into your call when you're using it, particularly if, after you've blown it for more than a few minutes, here's something that you might like to try, which for a reason that I can't explain medically might help you cure the problem. This part of your lip here, the little sort of bit that protrudes, I'm sure it's got a medical name, I can't think what it is, but normally when you blow the call you fit that little part of the lip into the call itself. If you move the call round slightly to the side of your mouth so that this little protuberance here is resting on the side of the call, won't materially affect the sound of the call, although if you're a beginner it's going to make things slightly different, so perhaps this is something that you might want to consider when you're actually proficient at blowing the call itself. But if you position it in the way that I've just demonstrated, it will significantly reduce the amount of saliva that you put into the call. And just in case you were worried that with an MPK call there was any sort of risk of the call failing to function because of moisture, let me demonstrate this for you. Bowl of water. You're going to have to really dribble some to produce that sort of saliva, but let's imagine perhaps that it's a really wet day out on the marsh, and if I dunk the call in the water, we'll make sure that it's completely wet. We'll give it a second or two to drain it out, and a quick shake, and even water in that sort of quantity has absolutely no effect on the quality of the sound that comes out of the call.